When it comes to choosing a case for my phones, I'd like to think that I'm pretty simple, but I'm also probably pretty complicated. I usually just want something that's not going to add too much bulk, not be ridiculously hard to assemble or disassemble, and something that's actually going to protect my device from drop damage. Usually the cases I end up with match 1 or 2 desires, but 2 desires is kind of rare. I have to say that I don't think I've ever particularly found the perfect case for my ever-changing lifestyle, but I also haven't looked for other cases outside of what the manufacturers offer because I'm of the assumption that they aren't anywhere near as good in quality. When Caseborne reached out to me to see if I'd like to try their Vanguard Series case for the Galaxy Z Flip 4, I became interested due to the fact that I tend to go hiking up in the mountains way more than I have previously. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my surprisingly pleasant experience with this case and why I think it's definitely something you should consider. Now, just so we do get this part out of the way, Caseborne has only provided me with the case and has not compensated me in any way to sway or control my opinion. Everything you are hearing in this video is of my own opinion and is something I stated to them that was very important to me. So the first thing to talk about is the color choices you have. You get 3 in this case, which are going to be black, orange, and purple. The first thing I really like about the design of this case is that it's actually built to military standards, which means that it would more than handle my hiking shenanigans, and then some. The strict military standard 810G rating protects you from drops, shocks, dust, and scratches, like you'd expect a case of this caliber too. It has a raised lip here on the outside to protect your cover screen and cameras from possible damage. And I also have to say that I really appreciate the hinge protection you see on the outside of this case. Most cases I've seen for the Galaxy Z Flip 4 either totally forget this, or if they do add some hinge protection, it's usually very flimsy. I actually got curious and did a drop test specifically on the hinge protector, and it passed with flying colors and maintained its integrity as if it was saying to me, I'm ready for the next drop. This hinge has a semi-auto sliding cover, and it's something that feels seamless to use and doesn't get in the way of normal operation in any way at all. On the right side of the case is where you see the cutout for your power button and the raised buttons here to manipulate your volume controls. I like what they've done with the opening for the power button here. Normally, hard cases like this would leave little room to manipulate your power button, but here you have ample amount of space, and that makes this feel like you're not hindered by the case's design. The volume button coverings on this case are also done well. They still give you that tactile feedback you'd expect when you don't have a case on. These buttons were overall easy to manipulate and press, and the feel of them does feel good. However, I can also say that at least in my experience, they were a little bit sharp depending on how hard you're pressing the button. But again, this is also a case that's built to military standard, and this is most likely done to compensate when people are wearing gloves or something along those lines. On the inside of the case, you'll find the shock resistant material that draws your eyes to it with its subtle but significant bright coloring. You also find 2 strips of adhesive here that are used to keep the phone inside of the case. I feel that this is a nice touch, but it can get a little messy if you remove the phone too much. Luckily, this is something that Caseborne also thought of and has included 2 extra adhesive strips in the box to replace the ones in here if you need them. This case is actually slotted and made to conform around the Flip 4's form factor. It provides a tight enough grip on it so when you drop it, it won't fall out of the case itself. I like this approach as opposed to the plastic skeleton you'd get with some other hard cases, as it makes for much less moving parts, much less maintenance, and still provides the protection factor you'd expect. Now, wireless charging is something I use about 98% of the time I charge my phone, and I was a little worried that the thickness of this case would interfere with wireless charging. However, I found that this wasn't the case at all, pun intended. As a matter of the fact, my Flip 4 tends to slip off any wireless charger I put it on if that charger is at even a slight angle, and having this case on actually made it stay in place, in addition to not hindering the full charging capabilities you get with wireless charging. For those who are worried about how this case will feel in your pocket, I can say that for me, it actually passed the pocket test with flying colors. I actually had my Z Flip 4 in my pocket for about 8 hours and didn't really feel a difference between not having the case on and having it off. I was able to comfortably drive, sit, walk, stand, do all of that stuff, and it still made it so that I couldn't even feel my Z Flip 4 was there. At one point, I actually thought I lost it. Although this case is all around a good choice for protection and non-bulkiness, yes, that is my own term, what's also great is that you do have a 30-day no questions asked return policy and a limited lifetime warranty. Now, if there is one thing I could say about this case that I think could use some improvement, it's in the choice of colors. The 3 colors you get are okay, but I would definitely want more variety in this regard. As some of you who watch my channel might know, I'm all about having a choice when it comes to a variety of colors. Other than that, I can say that this is a case that I didn't expect to enjoy using as much as I did. And I think that a lot of the design choices that went into making this as minimalistic as possible, but also as protective as possible, were carefully made, and not just for the sake of trying to be what a protective case usually is trying to be, which is overly big. If you are considering this case, you can head over to Caseborne.com and use the discount code W.I.H 10 to receive $4 off of your order. Other than all I've said, I don't have much else to say about the Vanguard Series case for the Z Flip 4, and I mean this in the best way possible. I can tend to nitpick things, but this time around I don't feel that it's warranted. What this case offers you is a tough exterior that isn't too big at all, is intricately designed in the right places, and protects the hinge of your Flip, which can be an extreme point of vulnerability if it makes contact with a hard surface. Caseborne has done a great job here, and I've actually been using this case on a day-to-day basis since I pulled it out of the box, which is saying a lot for someone like me who is so picky. With all that stuff being said though, wherever you are in the world, have a great day, a great afternoon, a great morning, and a great evening, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to use that discount code, because who does not like money off?